Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Who Be the New King. I'm your host, Shad Chokda. Unfortunately, we have no Azad, the big man, today. I don't know where he is, but he's given us a prediction. So that's what we're going to do straight away. We're going to look at what myself, Azad, and our guest, Jimmy, who's in a win-win situation, what he's going to do, okay? So I'm just going to share the screen and let's get going. So that's right, Everton versus Newcastle. We've all gone for an Everton win. Everton are starting to pick up the pace. They played really well against Leicester, and if it wasn't for a Pickford mistake, they would have taken all 3 points. Newcastle, on the other hand, they are struggling. Alan Saint-Maximin is coming back to fitness, so that's something to keep your eye on. FPL managers, this might be a good time to put in Everton players because they have an extra game which was called off earlier on this year still to play. Dominic Calvert-Lewin is back, as is Luca Digne. So going forward, they're two high-scoring players that you should look at. Crystal Palace versus Wolves, draw, Crystal Palace. It's interesting that nobody thinks Wolves are going to win this game. They are struggling at the moment for form, so we'll just have to wait and see how they perform in this game. But I feel like they might have a goal or two in them now, and Crystal Palace, they have struggled to keep clean sheets this season. Man City versus Sheffield United. We saw the upset of the probably the whole season when Sheffield United beat Manchester United. But yeah, this ain't going to happen with Manchester City. They've just got too many players that are on form right now. Gundogan, in that false nine position, looks deadly. And they've got other players like Foden, Jesus, Mahrez. Everyone's chipping in with goals right now, which shows to me that they're on form. West Brom versus Fulham. Every week there's a 6-pointer. This is a 6-pointer. I've gone for West Brom. The other boys have gone for Fulham. Yes, Fulham are playing well, but these are the sort of games that Big Sam, he will have drilled into his players exactly what he wants. Watch people like Callum Robinson run his absolute mind off. He's going to be a big differential this weekend. So if he works hard, West Brom could get the result. If he doesn't, look out for someone like Ademola Lookman. He could get an assist or two. So Arsenal versus Manchester United, arguably the biggest game of the weekend. It is still the old school Big Six clash. Manchester United haven't won this season against the Big Six opposition. Is this going to be the weekend that they do it? I'm going to be honest, as a United fan, I'm going to say no. We haven't played well against the Big Six team. And right now, apart from Cavani, some of the players, they don't look like they have the right work rate. They might have the right attitude, but the work rate itself isn't good enough. So if United are going to pull off something, you're going to look at the likes of Cavani to maybe run the show. Arsenal, on the other hand, they've got a lot of players on form right now. Emil Smith-Rowe, he's one to watch out for. I'm not sure if Odegaard's going to get straight into the first team action, but the one guy I would want everyone to watch out for is Bukayo Saka. These last, 5-6 games, he's just been, I don't even know what the words are anymore. He's obviously a wonder kid, but has he come to his own now? Is he an actual mainstay player? I think this is a game which could be defining for him for this season. Next game, Southampton, Aston Villa, tricky mid-table game, upper mid-table game. One of these teams could sneak a Champions League position if they get into a really good run. But at this moment in time, they are both dropping points. Villa against Burnley last weekend, Southampton against Arsenal. So, we'll just have to wait and see. Chelsea versus Burnley. Thomas Tuchel, can he perform his magic? They got a 0-0 draw last week. Antonio Rudiger is back in the team. Is there German favoritism here? I don't know, but we shall see. On the other hand, Burnley, tough proposition. They are now starting to put quite a lot of good results. And the 3-2 victory against Aston Villa was definitely one of those performances where you thought, you know what, Burnley are back. Leicester versus Leeds United. Everyone's gone for a Leicester victory here. Goals for Leicester. They're just too good. And the way that Leeds versus Leicester are the better attacking team. Harvey Barnes, Yuri Tielemans, James Maddison, all could be getting goals this weekend. So look out for that. West Ham versus Liverpool. I've gone for a draw. The other boys have gone for a Liverpool victory. Can Liverpool kick on? It's a big question. They've had a few poor performances, but last weekend, they look good. Against Spurs, I'm not going to lie, they looked very good. Trent Alexander-Arnold swinging in balls at the start of the game, which didn't look great. Second half, crossfield balls, crosses, everything he just seemed to be a touch of class, and confidence plays a big part. So this weekend, I think he is the guy to watch out for. Can he perform? Final game of the weekend, Brighton versus Spurs. We've all gone for a Spurs victory. Now, is Mourinho's team going to react the way they should? They've got a lot of classy players. We know that Kane is injured. Is that going to be a massive differential? Only time will tell. But yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting. So those are the predictions. At this moment in time, you, the guests, are doing better than myself and Azad. And at this moment in time, you guys are in for a prize at the end of the season. So now this part of the show is where we look at my FPL team, how I did last weekend, how I've prepared for this week. So that's right. Last weekend was not a good weekend for me. Players that I brought in and I paid the big bucks for, Pulisic and Jesus, both came off the bench. It was disappointing to see, knowing that Aguero is injured and Jesus is now fit and firing, that he didn't play. Gundogan played in that false nine role. However, I always feel like you have to give players 2 game weeks, unless they get injured, of course, to prove themselves. So I've given them both a chance. Pulisic had played 6 or 7 games on the bounce for Lampard. Unfortunately, a new manager has new ideas, but we shall see this weekend. Does he perform or does he not? If he doesn't, it might be time to take him out. Players to look out for from that Chelsea team as well. Antonio Rudiger, he has started for the manager. They've got that German connection. And at 4.5 million, he's very, very cheap for a Chelsea defender. Minus the Spurs game in the middle, they've got some easy fixtures coming up. So Pulisic, Ben Chilwell, Antonio Rudiger, they're the sort of players you might want to look out for. I know a few people have started putting Werner back in, and at 9.1 million, I don't think his price is going to drop any further. Bruno had a terrible weekend. Let's not talk about it. Lacazette was my only player that got me the points, 11 points. Harry Kane got injured, so another one that got 1 point. Foden got taken off, another one that struggled. Wan-Bissaka, again, Manchester United conceding 2 goals meant he dropped points. Aston Villa capitulated, unfortunately, against Burnley. So the points, they kind of dried up for me that weekend. However, I am still in the cup because my opponent got 28 points. So this week, what have I gone for? I've made some transfers. Manchester United are conceding goals, and I just don't trust them to keep clean sheets anymore. So Luca Digne's been brought in, and I've captained him. This could be a great decision or it could be a horrific decision. It depends on one man, and that is Alain Saint-Maximin. When he comes on for Newcastle, which he is inevitably going to do, is he going to cause lots of trouble? I've read that Newcastle had 10 shots when he came on against their opposition Leeds last week when he came on. So he could be a big differential for my weekend. I've still got quite a solid squad. It might be time to get rid of Phil Foden. He's got 1 more week left in him, but 1.3.1 point is just not good enough. But we shall see. Gabriel Jesus, I'm going to be honest, I think he's going to be benched again against Sheffield United. And these are easy fixtures where you would hope that he plays. So it'll be one to watch out for. Let's just put it like that. If he doesn't play, I think it might be wildcard time for me. Other players, Fernandes have got Arsenal, Lacazette have got Man United. I don't think this is going to be a boring 0-0 game. I think there will be goals here. If you can put in Calvert-Lewin, this is the cheapest he's going to be now. He's at £7.6 million. And look at this. He's dropped from 8 to 7.6. Everton have got a great run of fixtures coming up. They've got a 2, a 3, a 4, a 2. There are going to be goals there. Even in the Liverpool Merseyside derby, there's going to be fire. There's going to be goals. There's going to be something there. And after that, they've still got quite a few easy fixtures left. They've also got a few postponed fixtures, so the City and Aston Villa games, so they'll have some double game weeks. So it's time to put in those players. Whew, what else have I got left to say? Aston Villa and Southampton, I've cancelled each other out because I'm not sure if one of the teams are going to score, and I didn't want to hedge my bet on just Aston Villa, so that's why I've gone for that. A lot of players starting to bring Sadio Mane in instead of Salah. That could be something to watch out for. If Mane gets a few more goals, it might be time to bring him in. His price is at an all-time low. So if we look at the transfer section, in terms of game weeks, there's a lot of players that price rise. It's going to show the past game week, isn't it? That's horrific. Okay, so forget that. In terms of long-term planning, Manchester City are on form. If you haven't got John Stones, put him in. Otherwise, you're a mug. You're not going to get a cheaper defender who's going to provide returns week in, week out. but I think everybody knows that by now. It might be worth putting in a second Manchester City defender or their goalkeeper Edison. And then at the moment, if you've got Gundogan, fantastic. If you haven't, if you've already kept a Manchester City midfielder in, I'd give them the chance. So it could be Foden's week, it could be Mahrez's week, it could be Sterling's week. It'll be interesting to see. Gundogan's price has rocketed from 5.4 to 5.8 million over the past couple of game weeks. So this could be his chance. Aguero, I think he'll be back soon, though. I know there's an illness saying here, unknown return date, but I think it's because he was close proximity to somebody's coronavirus. So once that is done, expect Aguero to play in that number 9 role, and at 10.3 million could be a differential. Not really sure what other players there are that you need to keep an eye out on for this time being. I know a few people are starting to put Fulham players in. I mentioned about Tielemans last week. He scored a goal. Tielemans could be a good player to put in. And apart from that, I don't see any value in players right now. So those are my tips for the time being. Put in Chelsea players, put in Manchester City players, especially the defenders, and put in Everton players. And that is that for my tips. So let's just look at my league. I have had a horrific week in the Who Be the New King. We saw last game week, a lot of players did very, very well, especially the guy at the top, Wakanda FC. He smashed it once again. Rafinha was a great shout from him, and at 5.4 million, if we look at it, he does get goals and assists. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. He's got 2 goals, 3 assists. It's not bad for a 5.4 million pound player. Might be worth it. Souček is another one at 5.3. His price is difficult, where you just don't know what game he's going to smash it in. But if you put him in over the course of the season, it might be worth it, because look, 20 games in, 96 points. He's almost averaging 5 points a game. You can't complain with that for a guy that's worth 5.3 milli. And yes, look, he's also gone for the City defense with a bit of Sterling to back it up. Antonio is one that could get some goals. It's up to 6.5 million. There are some easy fixtures coming up, so he might be somebody worth putting in. If you look at the value, his price has gone up recently. So I believe he was at 6.2 mil. He's now up to 6.5, so it's expensive. The one other striker who might be worth putting in, and if I'm right, one of the guys in this league, Humbers, who's also doing pretty damn well, has put in is Ollie Watkins. He's already gone up from 6.1 to 6.2 million. Goal in the past couple of weeks, and there could be more goals coming for him. And if you look at their fixtures, they've got fixtures where goals could happen. Southampton, West Ham, Arsenal, Brighton. These are teams that do concede goals, so that might be one of the players to keep on your watch list. In the rest of my leagues, I have been awful, basically. What else can I say? I've dropped significantly over the past week because of my poor showing. And unfortunately for me, it's because of those subs that came on, who I put big money into. So watch out for my wildcard potentially next week. And apart from that, thank you very much for watching, everybody. And until the next time, stay safe. Don't break your COVID lockdown rules. That's it, really. Take care.